Today's episode is brought to you from The Russell, a historic East Nashville church transformed into a one-of-a-kind boutique hotel. The Russell's mission is to give back to the Nashville community through their Rooms for Rooms program by donating a portion of your stay to local organizations who provide a safe haven for those in need in the Nashville community. I mean, seriously, what more can you want? This hotel is beautiful and they give back. Come on. Visit the Russell Nashville to book your experience today. That's RUSSELL Nashville.com to book your experience today. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of This Hits Different with yours truly, Riley Nelson. I am unwell, and I have this little setup here upstairs in my living room area, or like the movie room area. So if anyone walks in front of the camera or walks out, that's what's going on. But at this point in time, my roommates are used to my shenanigans. We all have our own kind of shenanigan, but they're used to it, so it's fine. Lily's literally sitting here watching me record this behind the camera. She is my queen for making me centered on this and pointing the tripod in the right direction. Here's the thing. I thought that I would try to be as relatable as possible, and you are seeing me right now in my truest form. I am violently hungover. It's bad. And I am acting like I chose to be this way to look relatable to you guys. But the truth is, I'm a lazy piece of shit. And I'm just exhausted. And of course, I waited until the last minute to sit down and record this. And I'm regretting it now because I wish I would have done this Friday like I wanted to. But instead, I'm doing it the day before the episode comes out. So at this point in time, it is Sunday. I am hungover. What did I do last night, you might ask? I worked a double yesterday. I worked like 12 hours on my feet, basically, and I only got like a 30-minute break because we love the restaurant industry. But it's fine. I worked all day yesterday. I got home. I was exhausted. And my roommates texted me, and they were like, we're downtown. We're going to Broadway. Come. And at first I was like, no shot. I could never do Broadway. And then I was like, who am I? Let's face it. I'm probably going to go. And that's exactly what I did. I have not been down to Broadway, I think, since Halloween of last year. Like, it's been a good 6 to 8 months. I don't know how many months. I'm not going to do the math, but you can figure it out. But I haven't been to Broadway in a really long time. And I was like, you know what? I would love nothing more than to go shake my ass and get drunk and have a good time with my friends. So that's what I did. I called an Uber at 11 o'clock at night, and I went down to Broadway, and I met up with them. And their friends had a section, and so we just walked right on in. We didn't have to wait in line. We went to Aldine's. It was packed, like absurdly packed in there. I would say most people probably just waited in line all night, and you literally could not get through the crowd. It was a disaster, but in the best way possible. So we're at this section with some family friends, and they are just feeding us alcohol, and we ended up getting so drunk, like too drunk. But it was so much fun. And we ran into some of our friends on the dance floor, and we stayed with them for a while. And oh my God, this girl was trying to fight me. Like, literally this girl who's like kind of in our group, but like she goes to the parties, but like she wouldn't come hang out with us kind of type situation. So like I always see her around, but I guess she's talking to one of my friends. And I guess when I hugged him to say hello, it really set her off. Clearly she's an insecure little shit, but yeah, so she was like trying to fight me all night. We're on the dance floor and she like kept shoving me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you doing this? It's not that deep. And she's like, we're all like hammered too. And she's like, it's disrespectful. Like, you like him. You're trying to get with him. And I was like, I guarantee you, I am not. I've been friends with this guy for years and they're not even dating. That's the kicker. So if you're watching, fuck you. I said it. Anyways, we actually had so much fun though. Other than like this girl trying to fight me, she kept giving me dirty looks all night. It was so funny. Me and my friend were laughing so hard at it. And I think that just like pissed her off more because we were just laughing at her because it was just ridiculous. So yeah, that was so much fun. And then we ended the night on a mechanical bull, and it was a time. And then we went to Cookout and got food, and I got home at like 4:30 in the morning. So I am exhausted. I am hungover. My voice is fried. You are seeing me in my truest form right now. But yeah, last night was just a lot of fun. A lot of good stories. I don't want to go too far into, the intro. I want to keep it kind of short. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get right on into the interview with JT Foley. I have been friends with her for years now. We've met at Belmont freshman year, and she's just killing it in her career, and you should really go check her out. She's so talented, and she just moved to LA, so I was able to get her while she was still here. And yeah, go check out JT. She's incredible. Her music's incredible. She's a phenomenal songwriter. And let's get into that. But as always, before we get into the episode, let me just take one moment to plug myself. You can find my website, www.thishitsdifferent.com. And you can find the Instagram at This Hits Different Podcast. You can find me at Riley Nelson 18 on Instagram and at Riley Nelson 13 on TikTok. Hopefully one day it'll just be Riley Nelson across the board, but we are not there yet. Oh, also, I'm getting accepted into Raya, so that's exciting. I don't know how I feel about dating apps, and I'm like usually pretty against them, but we're going to see how it goes. Okay, sorry, back into Plug City. One more thing too, I launched the subscription for This Hits Different. You're going to get weekly content from me, and you're going to get, what else? Weekly content, early episodes, and all the tea, all the funny stories. Another thing that is super exciting that I've decided that I want to do is I want This Hits Different to be a music-only podcast. So from here on out, I am only going to do the music episodes where I record with artists and different people in the industry. So that's what This Hits Different is now. It's just going to be music, and don't fret though. I am going to get the stories behind the songs. I am going to get the dating tea, and we are still going to talk about dating with the artist, but I'm not going to bring on dating guests anymore and doing dating episodes because I'm going to launch a new show probably in the next year. My goal right now is to continue building up This Hits Different and then launching another show next year. So you can keep an eye out for that. It is going to be a while, but I'm going to release another dating show eventually, and it's just going to be dating. And I'm going to find a co-host for this one because I just feel like it's more fun. It's more funny. There's better banter. So you can look out for that. But from now on, This Hits Different is officially just a music podcast. And of course, it's still comedy. We're still going to bring on artists. I'm still going to get the tea from them. I'm going to dig deep, and I'm going to get the dating stories. Don't fret, because I love to talk about dating. So here it is. This Hits Different is officially a music podcast. If you love the dating segments, fret not. There will be another show coming out, but I got to be able to pay for it. And so that leads me to the subscription. Please subscribe to This Hits Different. If you enjoy it, please leave a review. It really helps me. It really pushes me, and it can get me in front of a bigger audience. And engage with me. I want to hear from you. I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to hear your stories. So please feel free to reach out to me any way you can. My email is, you can email me through the website. So you could go to the submission link and you can send me stories. You can send me funny things. Tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself to me. You can also DM me on Instagram at RileyNelson18, or you can DM the podcast. I run that account as well. I just really want to hear from you guys. I want to know who my audience is, and I want to hear your stories and connect with you and connect you with each other. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Now, before we get into the interview, so my guest today is JT Foley, and it was such a pleasure recording with her. I thoroughly enjoyed it. She's such a light, so easy to get along with. And so here's a little bit about her. JT Foley is a songwriter and artist. She is now based out of LA. As a songwriter, she has had numerous cuts, including FMK by Gail and Black Bear. Ever heard of them? Yeah, I thought so. All right, so we have cuts of FMK by Gail and Black Bear, Picture You Naked by Maddie Hicks, and Sick by Theory of a Dead Man. JT recently launched her career as an artist, and she has been featured on New Music Friday, Next Gen Singer and Songwriters, Made by Women, and Apple Music's A-List Pop. She strives to create vulnerable and authentic music that helps people feel validated in their life experiences. So I am very excited to introduce you to this amazing guest of mine. Without further ado, let's get into the episode with JT Foley. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have all been waiting for. I am joined today with the amazing, the incredible JT Foley.
Hello. It's very good to be here.
Thank you for coming on.
Having me.
And how are we doing today?
Doing good. We talked about the weather the last time we tried this intro.
Yeah, this is take 2 because I had a panic moment. I looked over on the computer and I was like, hang on, are both mics recording? And I started panicking because I was freaking out. I was like, if I accidentally only record one of our mics, that would be
not good.
Not good.
Not good. It's a Friday. We're tired, but like we're here and we're excited to be here.
And it's a really gross day today. But you know what? Here's the thing. When this comes out, your song will be out and it'll be springtime.
Spring?
So
spring will be sprung.
Hopefully by the time that people are listening to this, the weather will not be as shitty as it is today.
God, I hope. In Nashville, though, the thing about Nashville is that there will be a snowstorm, and it will be at the most unexpected times.
Yeah.
So
I know. I kept
count that out.
I kept saying yesterday, I was like, we're going to get a snowstorm in like a week. Just watch.
I
got up to 80.
Believe that. I truly believe it. I think like everyone's just kind of acting crazy right now because the weather is just going to go insane.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I believe it too. Well, we are not here to talk about the weather today.
We are not at all. I love small talk.
We love the weather.
I love talking about the weather.
We are here to talk about your latest release.
We are. I'm very excited. It's called Manslaughter.
Tell us about it.
It's coming out March 31st. So a little over a month. And it's my 4th single. And
period.
It's one that's really special to me. I wrote it with like 3 of my really good friends, and it was about kind of moving on past a relationship and like that process, and it came at a time that I really needed it in life, and I'm really excited to share it with the world.
Yeah. So let's talk about like the actual song. You said it's about a relationship. You said the key word, so
keyword relationship.
Give me the tea on that.
It is about an ex of mine, and just kind of about navigating kind of post breakup, and I think with like long-term relationships, I think like feelings definitely linger and don't necessarily like go away fast.
Yeah.
If we all wish they would. But yeah, moving on is a really like complex thing. And I kind of just had this idea of like killing the thought of someone in your head to get over them.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, of course, I do not condone murder.
This is not Kill Bill.
Got it. And hey, just saying, I did write this before Kill Bill came out. So I'm just saying.
Who took the idea?
SZA, You will be hearing from my lawyer now.
Oh my God, we just like completely comfort on this podcast.
There's no comparison to her. But yeah, I think it really helped me in that time, and even right now with just cutting that person off in your head, even if you still love them.
Yeah. So when you say cutting off, you're meaning like is it like every time they pop up, you're like, oh no, think of something else? Is that like what you're talking about, or is it like?
Yeah, I think like I talk about in the verse how, you kind of go through these things of like, okay, I'm going to take down all the pictures of you. I'm going to stop driving past your place or all these places that remind me of you. But I think like at a certain point, like the thought of them is still present in your mind. I think, yeah, the metaphor is that I'm going to like kill the thought of him. But really, I think it's just like letting go fully of that person.
Yeah. That's the hardest to do.
It is.
Breakups are the worst. I haven't really gotten too deep into breakups on this podcast, but I need to do a breakup episode because they're tough.
It is fully, I've never experienced like a really like traumatic death ever, so I don't want to compare it to that, but it really does feel like mourning someone, but it's weird because they're still alive. So
no, absolutely. That's like the perfect comparison for it. I feel like
it's really interesting, and it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. And I think it's just it's a hard thing that I feel like aren't talked about a lot. So I think it's important to be like, fuck, that sucks. Am I allowed to curse on this?
Yeah, please do. Please do. We cuss a lot, and honestly, the more that you cuss, the more it makes my mom realize that it's not just me.
Love. Yeah, my parents will be like, "Did you really have to say fuck? Come on."
Yeah, no, my mom when she listens to this, she's like, "Riley, like, what the heck? Like, you sound like a sailor." And I'm like,
"It's just,
am I a cute
instead
sailor?"
of like and. My mind says fuck.
Fuck. It's just the best word.
So yeah, but I'm very excited for the song to be out, and it's really special to me, and I feel like any people I've played it for, they like relate so much to it. So I'm really excited to get that out there so people can relate to it and feel seen.
And I've gotten to listen to the song. Also, you played it
at
your show, which we need to talk about.
It was so fun. Yeah, I played my first like full band live show,
and she killed it.
Saturday. Thank you.
Yes.
And I played that song, and that's one of my favorites to play live. It's just so like the chorus hits, and I just feel like it feels so good. So
it was such an intimate moment with the crowd too. I feel like
I think I have like a few people like who know the song, and so they were all like singing along. So it was really fun.
Yes. Oh my God, all your friends up front, they were adorable.
It was very fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more performances this year. I feel like I kind of got too wrapped up in like writing. Not too wrapped up, but I think like I'm excited now that I've done my first full band and to continue.
Yeah. Have you always wanted to be an artist, or were you more on the songwriting? Because I feel like when I met you, you were always more on the songwriting side of things. Yes. And so like the artist route is kind of new, I'm assuming.
Yes.
When did you decide that you wanted to switch from songwriter to artist?
Yeah, I came to Nashville.
Bring it up a little bit.
Oh, there it is. There we go. I came to Nashville like, I know, I'm like all over this.
I came to Nashville.
Over here. I came to Nashville 4.5 years ago, and I like jumped immediately into songwriting, and I knew I wanted to write for other people. I just like always like even at home when I was like growing up, I was writing songs, but not all of them like felt like me. I think like definitely deep down I always knew I wanted to like release my own music, but then it didn't really I wasn't starting to really write songs that I was like, oh my God, I want this. I don't want to give this away until about like 1.5 years ago. So it's been such a journey. I think it's I feel like now my the way I like navigate music and co-writes is like I feel like I like to try to do it 50-50 because I feel like both sides kind of feed each other. Where if I'm writing for other artists, I just get inspired by like their artistry and their craft. And when I'm writing for myself, I feel like I can like I feel like there's kind of when you're writing for other artists, what they like, it's their song at the end of the day. So if they want something, then
and you're kind of like. Yeah, if they want something instant, and you're
Yeah.
kind of like branding it towards them
Exactly.
versus
Yes.
like what it's not you.
Totally. I think, and it's also like anytime I'm writing with an artist, I just want it to be as authentic to them as possible. And that might not be what's authentic to me. So it's really nice to be able to be like,
Interesting.
this is me. This is
Yeah.
what I want in the song. So yeah, and it's really fun to do like all the like photo shoots and all the like content for it. So
And the
yeah,
glitz and glam.
Yes. But yeah, overall, I love to just like make the music and put it out, and now starting to perform it.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It's really exciting.
It's really
And
exciting.
you're moving to LA, so
Yeah.
Nashville is losing another amazing, talented pop
But
artist.
more people are moving to Nashville. So for every 2 people that move to LA, 1 moves to Nashville.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
For the most part.
Okay. Cool.
But they always come back. I feel like I'll totally be back to Nashville. But yes, I'm moving in 3 weeks.
That's so sad.
In a month.
I feel like my like network in Nashville, like everyone's moving everywhere else, and I'm like, am I gonna have friends?
You will. You will. Nashville's a beautiful city. It is just done for me at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'll be moving there, and I'm excited for like a fresh start and to work with people that I've worked with and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I want to dive into the songwriting stuff a little bit.
Love it.
When did you start writing songs?
I started writing songs when I was 8 years old.
Were you singing first?
It's very funny. I was like,
I'm so sorry. I have so many questions, but I'm
Please.
so curious about like the songwriter and the artist and like the music. Like,
yes.
because some people like are songwriters and they don't sing, and some people
Totally.
sing and then they're like, oh, let me write my own songs too. Or like,
It's so different.
what
for
did that
everyone.
look like for you?
It was so I was always writing, but I didn't really like put together that this was writing a song until I started playing guitar. So like
Okay.
what that looked like was I would like write down like lyrics and stuff, and I would like sing it out loud like a cappella.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's so
so
cute.
it was really adorable
I
looking
want to see
back.
some home videos.
Oh, there's those that I've hidden deep in the vault. But they're really adorable because I'm very bad. Anyone that starts that says they're good is a liar. You like
My songs were horrible. I was so embarrassed. Like,
it is, I mean, you have to start somewhere, and I think I'm just really grateful that my like parents encouraged me instead of being like, that sucks. I mean, it's the truth, but I'm glad they encouraged me.
they're like,
But
it's good, sweetie.
yeah, they're like, yeah, keep going. But I started actually like writing songs when I started guitar at 9. And so I was always kind of singing my songs, but then I got to be able to like put it to music, and that just kind of like blossomed. But my dad he grew up in like high school, he was in like a garage rock band. So like he was always playing guitar around the house, and so that inspired me to start playing guitar, and he would like write with me a little bit, which inspired my songwriting. And so, yeah. And then I just kind of continued writing from there, and I didn't really realize that like a songwriting career was a thing until high school. And then
What is it like writing a song with your father? Because you just said that you all wrote together.
I'm going to say we wrote like 3 songs together.
About what?
Our first song we ever no, this is so bad. This is so bad. Our first song we ever wrote was called Thinking of You. Which is like a breakup song, but like I was like 9. Like it's so funny looking back because it's like I'm writing about these relationships. To be fair, I did have little boyfriends.
As a 9-year-old, pop off queen.
I did have content. Like I
It's
did
your
have
first heartbreak. 9 years old.
I got my heart broken. I was a heartbreaker. I was all of the above. Middle school
Man.
me was
Ruthless.
in the trenches.
In the trenches.
But yeah, we wrote a breakup song, and we still to this day will like sing it together. And I remember every single song me and him have wrote together.
Shut up. That's adorable.
It's a very much like a bonding
That's
thing.
such a cute, like, daddy-daughter moment. Wait, that's so tender.
We have this one song we wrote about my mom ordered Chinese food for us, and she forgot the egg rolls.
Uh-huh.
And so we wrote a song called Mommy Didn't Order Any Egg Rolls. And it was like a
Stop.
mad song.
That's so
And
cute,
I'm like, we should have
though.
just been like grateful that
How
she ordered
long-
us dinner.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, this bitch.
You forgot the
She
egg
forgot
rolls.
the egg roll.
Gone. I'm so sorry. Taylor's
You're like,
mom,
okay, I went
if you-
too far.
JT's mom, if you're listening,
I think she would
I
think
did
that's
not just
funny.
call you.
I also call her. I'm just kidding.
My mom's like, Riley Nelson.
She's used to it.
I'm so sorry, mom.
Stop. Both our moms are gonna be like, what's
That's
going
so
on
cute
here?
that you and your dad
Yeah.
have that together. That's like really special.
Very adorable. He's not in music at all, but like I think it's just like a bonding thing for us. And
Yeah.
it's
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And he like played guitar and that inspired you.
Yes.
So, you know, songwriter, and you started writing like, you kind of realized in high school, you said that you were like, oh, I can do this as a career.
Yeah, I think I was like kind of towards the end of high school. I had kind of a good when I started guitar, I was with this guy and I ended up taking lessons with him like every week until I went off to college. So he was kind of more of even like a mentor to me. And you know, he had some like past clients who actually like went on to be like big artists and writers. So I really like took his advice and when I was thinking of colleges, I was like looking at New York and Nashville because LA was a little too far. I'm like from Pennsylvania, so it's like that was really scary for me. So I came down to Nashville and I was just like, oh my God, I just fell in love with the city and like the song. It's such a songwriting city, which is like there's no other songwriting city. That's like what it's known for. And so
That's so true. Like, because LA has so much going on.
Yes.
It's just like all of entertainment is there.
LA is an entertainment city,
New York,
not a songwriting city.
and New York has everything as well. I mean, I'm sure New York is a hub for pretty much any industry ever.
Yes.
So it's a little like more diversified, I guess, because there's like finance bros, and then there's like musicians, and there's Broadway, and there's just fashion.
Not
There's
the
so,
finance bros.
There's so much going on in New York, which is great.
Exactly.
But like Nashville is like, this is our thing.
Yes. And I think like, you know, I came down and I saw like a writer's round and I was just like so blown away and I was like so inspired. So I looking back, coming to Nashville was like the best thing for me. And then I ended up like I had no idea songwriting was a career. Like they're not just like I thought the artists wrote the songs. I thought they were the only ones that wrote it.
People do not understand the machine working behind an artist.
There is like 100 people. It does take a village, and I didn't realize that until the end of high school. And then
I didn't realize that until like halfway through college. I was like, I mean, I knew that artists didn't like write their songs, but I didn't know like the capacity of how little most artists, not all, because there are a lot of artists who are songwriters too.
Totally.
But most artists are not writing their own music.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I think I also like didn't necessarily know that there was like pop music in Nashville, and I knew I like loved pop music, but I was still writing a little bit of country. Like when I came to college, and then I was like, oh, there's like a pop scene here, and that's what I want to write. And so I found a lot out when I came like to college.
I promise I'm not yawning at you. I keep yawning because I'm like
I'm exhausted.
Oh, I'm struggling. I'm so sorry. I'm like I literally keep yawning, and I'm like, Riley, stop! Like this is embarrassing. I'm like trying to hold it back.
Like literally right before this.
Good.
I set an alarm and I was like, oh shit, I have to go. So I
no, you're good. I get it. Okay, songwriting. Now to the artistry stuff and like switching over. What was that transition like? Were you like, you know what, I'm just gonna start writing songs for myself and post them on the internet? Like
I was kind of, when I went into a room and there wasn't an artist who wanted to write, like I would write it just like in general, but I would sing the demo, and then I started to be like, oh, like this, like I wrote this song about my situation and I'm singing the demo and I like how I sound on it, and then my I'm signed to a music publisher, and she really encouraged me to put out stuff. I wasn't like, I was like, yeah, like in the future I want to, but she was just like, do it now. I was like, all right.
You're like, what? I can do
and
that.
I think I needed that push. I think like it's very easy to be like, in the future, like, yeah, I'll do that
one day.
And then it's 5 years and you still haven't done it. So I'm really glad like I got the ball rolling and everything. But yeah, I put my first single, Scaredy Cat, out last April. So I guess it's almost been a year since I started releasing music, which is amazing. I feel like I've like learned so much about like artistry and what being an artist looks like, and it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah. So you had a publishing deal. For people who don't know what that is, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. A publisher is kind of how like an author has a publisher where they like publish their work. Songwriters have that in basically not even publishing your songs, but it's more so they're the ones that set up your co-writes, and so they can get you into like bigger rooms. They're kind of your advocate. They're like your instead of you going around and being like, hey, I'm this writer, here's what I could do, here's my work, it's this person who's respected and all of that is kind of doing that for you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think like how that kind of works is they kind of see either some potential in you, they like the stuff you're doing, or you're already like a songwriter who's killing it, and they want to be a part of your team. And so, yeah, so I met mine over like 2 years ago, and then we've been working together for I guess almost 2 years as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we got to be with you whenever Scaredy Cat came out. We were at Red Door, right?
Yes, that ended up being so random, but I loved how that worked out. I was getting drinks with
Faith. Yeah, my
and
roommate Faith has been on the podcast.
Faith, my queen.
We
Faith,
love
she has
her.
a song out today. Go listen to it.
Yes. Well, but at this point, when this episode is out, it'll be
She
like
has a song out a few
month
weeks
ago.
ago.
Go check out Wrong Side of Goodbye.
And then we ended up meeting up, and that it was just like so much fun. And then we got to celebrate it and
I know.
have some drinks, and that was a blast.
That
it
was a good
literally
time.
feels like yesterday, but it's almost
It really
a
does.
year now.
Whenever you just said that it was April of last year,
April, and doesn't that feel
I had
crazy
that
to
like
you?
moment where I was like, was it that long ago?
It's
No way.
so crazy. It's almost March.
Yeah. And February is flying by.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
it feels crazy. Like,
what
life
is happening?
A dream right now.
Yeah.
Like in a
Little
what time?
and
What is time?
also- yeah. Yeah, that's
But
freaking crazy.
I know,
And
but Scaredy Cat, almost a year ago, and that was like my first release as an artist, and it like, I mean, it felt amazing to like be able to be like my song's out, and and I think it also it just like it helped me so much in my writing career as well, because people would be like, oh, I love your song, like I'd love to write for my project. So yeah, it all really was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so what has it been like trying to find your sound and like who you are as an artist? Like what is your, I don't want to say like exactly like brand, because obviously that changes and evolves, but like are you just writing the songs that you had been writing for other people now for yourself, or like are you doing things different than you do with like typical songwriting? Like what has that looked like in terms of branding and creating your sound as JT Foley?
Yeah, I think it's such a learning curve, and you just like try different things. But I think just as like a song. Sorry, I keep bumping this.
I hit my mouth all the time. I was saying, or like my chin. I'm like,
what am I doing? But yeah, I think like as a songwriter, like I love writing in like the pop space, but then I also kind of go a little bit into like the rock and EDM world, and sometimes country. So like as a songwriter, I don't like really box myself in, but but in my artistry, I've always written kind of indie pop, a little like alt leaning. But I think what I really love about my stuff and like what excites me about my artist project is that like sometimes I lean more into like the rock-ish world. I use that term very lightly, rock, but it is pop rock.
Everyone on this podcast knows I love rock.
Yes.
So
and sometimes a little bit of like in this singer-songwriter acoustic vein, and I feel like in that there's so much room to go, and I'm constantly kind of changing up the sound, but it all kind of stays cohesive some way.
Yeah.
And so I just really like to experiment and like try new things with that. But overall, like lyric wise, even writing for other people, I just want to write what you feel. Like I think when I first started out, I would totally make up stories, but I think like when a song really hits me and I feel like seen and I feel like, oh my God, I relate to that so much, is when like you are writing exactly what happened and like you're honest and you're open and you're authentic about it. So that's how I try to do that. But sometimes it's like, fuck, this is like sometimes you can get a little too honest, and then you're
It's
like,
hard.
and then you're like, oh, can I even send this to like anyone.
Yeah, like if this person that I'm talking about hears this particular line, what are they gonna think? Am I gonna get a nasty call? Like,
yeah,
it's hard.
I think it is, but I think like I've always had the mindset of like, you're being honest, and like even if you're not even necessarily comfortable with it at first, being that honest, I think it's like it's for the best. Like,
and it's important.
It's so important.
Yeah,
so important. It could help so many people.
It could.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that's so like hard with this, like with entertainment in this space in general, because like sometimes like you forget like you are helping people, and I remember, and I think even to this day, music still helps me so much. But I think back to like some of the times when I was at my lowest, and like certain lines, I like this one line from Adele. Like, I mean, I don't know who wrote the line. Obviously, Adele probably didn't, but
I'm sure she did.
Maybe
I'm sure she helped out.
Well, one of the lines is when your heart makes you feel like a fool, and I don't know why, but every time I was going through this like situationship kind of thing, and when I heard that line, like your heart makes, I was like, that's it. Like this song just spoke to me, because like
that's how I feel.
That's how I feel.
Oh my
like I feel like
God.
an idiot because I let this go on for so long. But it's like my heart was So like you forget that your lyrics and your words and your stories and your honesty does help people. And I feel like it's the same way with the podcast, like in a different way.
100%. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
Like anything that's putting yourself out there and like creating something is like, that's what you're creating it for.
Yeah. And you're like I feel like with songwriting, like you're like summing up stories or like summing up situations basically, and like putting it into a smaller format. Whereas mine is a long
2 minutes
format.
and 30 seconds. Yep. No, and that's what I love about, like, I'm such a movie TV person. Like I love it just because it's all storytelling. Like it's all like talking about this sounds so hippie, but like it's talking about like the human experience, and it's like and just to do that, and then like I love like New Girl, and it's like it's such it helps me, so like it helped me through like a breakup, because I was just like, oh, like they're going through this shit, but like they're having such a good time doing it. And it's like, I don't know, I think like any form of art is so important.
I agree. It's so, I don't know, it's just odd because like, you don't think of it sometimes that way. You just think of it as entertainment. And like,
and honestly, sometimes it is. Like,
it is.
Sometimes I'm watching like Love Island right now, and it's like, is this helping for the greater good of humanity? Probably not.
Definitely not.
But it's entertaining as hell.
Fun as hell to watch.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like that's okay, and that's what that's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, okay. Back to your music.
Yes. Oh yeah. Fuck my music.
Okay.
God. Yeah, and I think like what we were talking about like just like it will help someone in some way. I think that's why I think like I don't really like, I kind of like to keep the line a little blurry between like my artist stuff and like writing for other people, because like either way, like the words I'm writing like will go out into the world and it'll help someone. So yeah, I think it's like it's important to, I don't know, just be like intentional about things.
Yeah. Do you ever write things for other people and you're like, fuck, I wish I had this?
Ooh, no.
Interesting.
No, but I've had.
Okay.
I've had.
You ever come up with like a melody and you're like, oh, like I want to save this one for me?
Will say, like, when I'm in the room with an artist, no, because I think like it's so in their, like, I think a lot of times I do write with artists that are very similar to me. Artistry. Yeah, but there's another word. We have similar artistries.
We have similar artistries.
And
brands, identities.
Yeah. And so sometimes I'll be like, oh, like this would be something I would release. But I think the only time I've had a thing where I'm like, I kind of want to keep this is if I write a song and it's being pitched around and stuff like that, and some like other artists are interested, and I'm like, oh
wait. You want it? Now I suddenly want it. Like, well, you get like jealous about it.
It is so funny. I don't like necessarily love a song until people want it, and then I'm like
that.
Wait, what?
I'm basic
with
as
like
fuck.
boys.
Like, no, here's the tea. Okay, random, totally derailing. the fucking Stanley Cups. I got one for Christmas. I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't ask for this. I don't want this cup. And then TikTok all of a sudden was like, the Stanley Cup, we love it. And everyone on TikTok was
And
raving
you're
about the
like-
Stanley Cup. And I was like, no, I think I like it.
I actually haven't heard of the Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, it's like a thing. Everyone on TikTok,
What's so
all
good-
the
what's so
kids
good about
these
it?
days. It has a handle. It fits. It's
Sold.
okay. Here's the thing. It
Handle.
40 ounces. It fits in a like car cup holder, which is nice.
Oh.
And it like doesn't. Yeah. So and then
Actually, that looks like
and
bomb
it keeps
as fuck.
it keeps
and it
it
has
cold
a straw. I love straws.
for days.
Oh.
It's
All right, she's selling me.
sponsored
This
by
is not an
Stanley
ad.
Cups.
God, we wish.
I wish I was getting paid from Stanley to say
Pay
this.
us.
No, dead ass.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, and I'm like that with music
What
too.
were we saying? Oh yeah. No,
Like
I
sometimes
was
when
like,
an album comes out, like I'll listen through and I'm like, it's all right. And then everyone on social media will start being like, this song and this song. I'm like, oh yeah, this one. Like I need to be convinced.
Oh my god. Well, I think it probably stems like I think every artist writer is like a little bit of like a cynic in a way. Well, like not even like I think it's like we all kind of just think we're trash. Like we're like
That's so sad.
Well, no, I think it's like like you have to know you're good in a little bit, but I think like for the most part it's like this could be total trash. But that's what like creating is. For the most part, you do create like mediocre stuff and then you create really
One day
beautiful
you
stuff.
Create something that's great and everyone wants it.
But yeah, for the most part, you're just like, this is a song I wrote. And then for the most part, it's like, okay, like cool. But then there's those days where it's like, this is amazing. This is like your best work. And you're like, oh, wait, I'm not trash.
You're like,
oh, cool.
this is?
Yeah.
Have you ever like been like in a session and you're like, I'm writing a hit right now?
No.
Really?
Even songs that like people have gotten really excited about. I usually there are times where I'm like, this is like, oh, this is awesome. Like this feels really good, but you never know. Like you never know because it could like it could just like not be one.
Have you ever have you had a song that you wrote that you like weren't expecting to be good that was good?
Yes, for the most part.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like, you're kind of just like, you're just trying to get like a cool song out, and then you're like, oh, okay, I don't know. But then you listen back to it when you get it back and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But you don't know. And it's just kind of like leaving the room and being like, okay, cool. I did my job today. I think I tried my best.
Yeah.
But it's very funny because it's so up and down. Like it's so up and down. Like some days I'll be like, I'm the greatest writer in the world. And it's hilarious because it's like, it's so fleeting. Because then the next day it's like, I'm the worst. Like I need to crawl into a hole.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a part of it.
Yeah.
It's just like being an artist, like, or creating anything.
Yeah. No.
So,
yeah.
again,
I get the same way.
Creating anything.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting because art is very subjective, but at the end, like, it's also not. Like some things are just good and bad.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So while we're here, I want to talk about a pretty big cut that you got.
Cool.
You got a cut from Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Ever heard of ABCDEFU? She sings that one.
She knows her alphabet.
I-
Actually, she doesn't.
T.
No, I was thinking, I was like, F
A B
you.
C D E
So that's
F
not
G.
where you is.
Guys, spoiler alert, Gail doesn't know the alphabet.
That is the T. No, I'm sure she does. I've never asked her.
I'm sure she's probably fine. Okay, so you got that cut and
Yes. Yeah, it was I got it it came out this October. And yeah, it was really it was just like it was awesome. I like wrote it with my good friend Ben, and this was kind of like a song I had written like a minute ago, and we did a really rough guitar vocal, and we were on a writing trip. This was my first time to LA, and we were all in a house together, and me and her signed to the same publishing company, and we were honestly just playing each other music, just like being fans of each other. And then she heard that, and she was like, oh my God, can you send that to me? And then she like would continue to listen to it, and she really connected with it. And then they were like, oh, this could be like a feature type vibe. And then And then Black Bear wanted to be on it, and it was like, what? Like, I was just like, what's going on? Like, how did, like, this
And can you say the name of the song too? I
called
realized I never said it.
Fuck, Marry, Kill. It's called FMK, but
FMK.
it's Fuck, Marry, Kill. I wrote it when I was in a relationship, and it was very funny. Me and Ben had been writing for like 2 weeks straight together, and I was honestly like, I don't know if we have anything else to write about, but I had kind of had a little bit of like not even an argument, just like a little like tiff with my boyfriend at the time, and Ben had the title Fuck, Marry, Kill, and I was like, that is so funny.
It's like a relationship.
Well,
like,
I was thinking, I was like, that is so funny because I literally today I wanted to fuck, marry, and kill my boyfriend, and so that's literally how that started. And then we
fuck, marry, kill you sometimes.
Literally, just sometimes, you know.
And it goes so well too with like Gail's brand, like
totally. It makes so much sense. And
letters like the FML, like FMK, you know, like
yes,
it just
totally. I think it was so like serendipitous, and I'm really happy it worked out that way. And I feel like it's really fun to be able to just like give songs over that I know I'm not going to release.
Yeah,
and like. This is very rare. Like this doesn't happen a lot. So it's like it's actually like I'm honestly very shocked that it all happened.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that it
Yeah.
did. So
and how would you say like you're splitting your time between songwriting and being an artist? Like what is that like difficult? Because I know being an artist is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Being a songwriter is a full-time job.
It's 2 full-time jobs. It's
how do you manage all of that?
It goes back and forth. It's honestly kind of like what my calendar ends up being. Like some months I'll be like completely writing for other artists. Other times I'll be writing more for myself. But I try to keep it as equal as possible, but it can never really be equal. So I'll be in like right now I feel like I'm in a big moment of like focusing on my artist stuff. But then last month I was just writing with other people. So again, I think it just like feeds each other, and if I start to lean too much one way, I'm like, whoa, wait, like
I need a balance.
Well, yeah, no, it's just I think when I'm too off balanced, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's all about like keeping it fun, because at the end of the day, like this is an awesome job. Like
it really is
awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's like, but I think you take like you can take anything for granted, and I think it's like just reminding myself that this is like awesome and like so creative and like the dream job.
Yeah.
And so I think like when I go too much one way, it starts to feel like work. It is work. It's obviously work, but it's like it should like
it starts to feel exhausting.
Yeah. It starts to feel like the bad parts of a job.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's and so it's good to have that balance to be like, oh, I get to be like creative, but then also like maybe this day I don't want to be creative and I get to be analytical and like work on the business side of myself. And
with that, I think it's like what's really good about like or nice about writing for other artists is that I can kind of take like it kind of feels sometimes like an off day, because it's like when you're the artist, you want to be writing about your story, so you kind of have to like divulge every detail of your life, or at least I like to.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to get the best song, and like as a songwriter, you don't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
You might do it when you're trying to relate to the artist or contribute, but like you're not the center of it, and so you don't need to necessarily be giving your all. So it's nice to have that like break in a way.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Manslaughter out March 31st.
Manslaughter.
I think it will be out by the time this is out.
I need to look at a calendar.
It's either March 31st, it's either out or it's about to be out.
Or it's about to be out.
And go stream that, and don't kill your ex, but kill your ex in your head.
In your head. In your thoughts. Obviously it's illegal, so don't literally do it.
Wait, what? It's illegal?
Well, I need to watch like someone like tie it back and being like, oh, this podcast told me to do it. Let me just before illegal comes up to me.
I told you to do it, and yes, you should.
Kill your ex.
No, SZA told you to do it. Again, I will be contacting my lawyer.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Thanks for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you on all the things. Plug yourself. Any upcoming shows?
Myself. No upcoming shows, because I will be moving in 3 weeks. Oh my gosh. But I'm looking forward to doing some more like acoustic shows out there and just getting out into the scene. But yeah, Instagram is JT Foley official. Twitter is JT Foley is cool because I am.
I love that you're on. I don't even have Twitter anymore.
I like don't post that much on it. I more so like retweet like when people like post things about me, but
that's nice. Definitely you need to have one.
Yes.
But I'm so out of it.
TikTok, I think it's JT Foley official. I don't think there's other JT Foley, so you will find me.
Yes.
And I think that is it.
And it's JT together.
Just
space,
JT Foley official.
Spell Foley. FOWLEY.
No.
What?
FOLEY.
FOLEY. I thought it was FOW. See, this is why I said it out loud, so it's there.
Do you have me in your phone with a W?
I might. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. There is no. That would be
Foley. Like it make
I guess it is Foley.
I'm so sorry.
I don't care.
JT space.
Actually, I really care. We're having beef right now.
Oh goodness.
FOLEY JT. That is me.
You got it. And it also like everything will be linked. So if you're confused, it will be linked in the episode notes.
That was way more confusing than it needed to be.
I shouldn't have even tried to spell it. I should have just let you go. I should have just shut the fuck up.
Stop it. Never. This is your podcast. You don't need to shut the fuck up on here.
Sometimes I do. I really do. Well, we're not going to get into that. All right. And you know where you can find me on Instagram at RileyNelson18. Still have a number because I don't have Riley Nelson.
That's really interesting.
One day I will. That is not today. And TikTok, RileyNelson13. Same thing.
18
and then you
and 13.
18 and 13.
Different numbers. Okay.
Different numbers. I tried to keep it consistent, but it was taken.
Did those numbers mean anything to you?
18 was the year I graduated high school, and I made my Gmail account.
That you did.
So, yeah. I mean, like, no, not really.
Was 13 the age you were at when you made?
No, I just thought I like 13.
Which is a good number.
It's just a good, yeah. So, yeah. And then you can find my website, www.thishitsdifferent.com. Please share the podcast and, podcast Instagram at This Hits Different Podcast. All right. Without further ado, that is all I have for you guys today.
Whoop.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Today's episode was edited and produced by Aiden McKernan. You can find him on Instagram at Aiden C. McKernan. He will also be linked below in the show notes. The This Hits Different theme song was produced by Zach Jordan. You can find him on Instagram at Zach.jrdn. He will also be linked below in the show notes. Today's episode was written and hosted by me, Riley Nelson, and you can find me on Instagram at RileyNelson18. I know I just said that 10 minutes ago, but here we are. Thank you guys so much for listening.